Matt Walsh is back at it again with the white vans, angering woke lefties with his new movie, Am I Racist?, where he sets out on a mission to decenter his whiteness, decolonize himself, pay reparations to his black producer, Ben. So I watched this movie in theaters, and truth be told, I kind of felt like everyone rushed out of the theater after, like they didn't want anyone else to see their face in there. But look, I watched it, and I have to say that compared to the trailers, the movie is really not what I expected. Let me explain. Hello everyone, if you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second, third, fourth time watching one of my videos and you're not yet subscribed, we already go together. Okay, make it official and hit that subscribe button. To all of you who have been longtime subscribers and regularly watch my channel, I know I've been gone for a while and you're probably wondering what happened. So I decided to take some time off to enjoy, the last bit of summer that was left over, and I also had a surgery that was pre-scheduled, and so I took some time to heal after my surgery, but I'm feeling well and I am back making content for all of you lovely people. But this video is not about me. It is about Am I Racist? Pause, the movie, not me. I am not racist. I'm talking about the movie Am I Racist? I did watch the movie Am I Racist in theaters, and surprisingly, there was a decent amount of people who showed up to see the movie. A few months ago, I reviewed a movie called The American Society of Magical Negroes, and I saw that movie in theaters on opening night, and there was literally like 8 or 9 people, including me and my boyfriend, in the theater, despite the fact the movie had been heavily marketed in the mainstream media. So compare that to this movie, which has a limited release. It doesn't have the benefit of a major studio. Matt Walsh has only gone on pretty much just conservative platforms to market it. And so, despite all of the obstacles, I actually do think it will perform very well. I expected this to be more similar in tone to his documentary, What is a Woman? That movie, or that documentary, while it did have its funny moments, it was pretty serious. And so based off of the trailers for Am I Racist, I thought the tone was going to be similar to What is a Woman, but it wasn't. He takes a much more comedic approach to this movie, and I thought it was hilarious. If you find movies like Tropic Thunder, Office Space, or the show The Office, or South Park, if that is your sense of humor, you will love this movie. If you watch this entire movie and you don't laugh at least once, leave a comment under my video. I will help you find a doctor to pull that stick out of your ass. So I want to talk about the movie, but I want to give a warning. There's going to be some light spoilers in this video. I'm not going to tell you everything that happens. I'm just going to talk about my favorite parts. So if you don't want anything spoiled, you have been warned. But if you want to hear a little bit about the movie before deciding to spend your own money to see it, then stick around. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you everything, just my own personal favorite parts. So, the premise of the movie is very simple. Matt Walsh plays himself as Matt Walsh, and he sets out on a journey to learn more about DEI, and he does so by attending seminars, reading books, doing online courses, doing street interviews, speaking to experts, and by the end of the movie, he takes everything he's learned and then he starts teaching it to everyone else. That's essentially the premise of the movie. Very simple premise, but along the way, he's just trolling everyone, and it's very funny. That is probably one of the things that surprised me the most about this movie, is how genuinely funny Matt Walsh is. And at one point during the film, I turned to my boyfriend and I'm like, how does he say all this shit while keeping a straight face? And he's like, his face is always straight. The fact that Matt Walsh is so good at keeping a straight face no matter what he's saying is what makes the entire movie that much funnier. There's a point in the movie where I was asking myself, is this real? Because in all of these interactions, the things that Matt Walsh is saying is batshit crazy, it's over the top, and everyone in the room is taking him serious. They're not pushing back, they're not questioning him, they are fully engaging him in good faith. Meanwhile, he is mocking them to their face. Like, for example, there is one scene in the beginning of the movie where he assumes a new identity of a man named Steven, and he attends a support group called Grieving White Privilege Anti-Racist Allyship Training.
What?
Everyone sits in a circle where they go through these exercises, and if they need a moment to process their feelings, there is a room next door where they can go to cry, and then they can rejoin the group once they have composed themselves. So everyone gathers, and despite the fact that Matt Walsh is not wearing a disguise, no one recognized him, at least at first. So the support group was hosted by a black woman who charged $20,000 for this training session. And despite the fact that she charges this large sum of money, she doesn't say anything of substance. She starts off by telling all of the white people in the circle that she is not safe. Matt Walsh asks her to explain why she isn't safe, and her answer is she is not safe because she is a black woman in a room of white people. Mind you, no one has threatened her. Everyone is being respectful towards her. No one has any weapons, and everything is being recorded. But still, she insists she is not emotionally safe because she is in a room with a bunch of white people. Mind you, the production team paid her $20,000 to be there, so she will gladly risk her so-called emotional safety for money, but still proclaiming to be in danger.
Someone online is full of shit.
She asks everyone to introduce themselves, and they go around and they have to say their name, their pronouns, and tell a story about a time they were given a weird compliment. The first guy says his name is John, his pronouns are he, him, and one time he was doing online dating, and when he met up with the person in real life, they told him that he looked better in person. And so next is Matt Walsh's turn. He says his name is Steven. He will get back to them on his pronouns, and once someone complimented him because he has 17 black friends. No one in the circle laughed, and that's why I thought maybe this was fake, because I don't know how it was that everyone kept a straight face through the things he was saying. Well, the woman next to him was like holding in laughter, but other than that, like, everyone else was pretty serious. As the meeting continues, Matt, or should I say Steven, continues trolling, and at one point he starts to fake cry and he excuses himself and he goes into the cry room, and while he is gone, everyone in the room starts whispering amongst themselves. They pull out their phones, and after doing some quick online research, they realize that Steven may actually be Matt Walsh. And when Matt returns, they confront him about this.
Can you guys catch me up to speed on what's going on here?
You don't need to be caught up. We're gonna be silent.
Is it because I said I had 17 black friends? It might have been 15. It depends on how you count them.
I would really appreciate it if you left so that the people who actually want to be here and deserve to be here can get what they need.
I do want to be
Can
here.
you please leave?
So he eventually admits that yes, he is Matt Walsh, and they subsequently kick him out and call the police. And the irony is, people like this, they're in favor of defunding the police, but they will then turn around and call the police because you committed the ultimate crime of hurting their feelings. He should have called the police. They kicked him out before he could get his money's worth. That's $20,000 down the toilet. What kind of customer service is that? But speaking of customer service and getting your money's worth, I know my audience is pretty diverse, and many of you, like myself, are business owners. And I know that when you're a business owner, finding the right CRM and the right communication service is very important. The worst thing in the world is to lose customers because your phone connections are poor, the wait times are too long, or because literally no one is available to take the call. If you are a decision maker at your business, it is possible to have your customer experience be as polished as a billion-dollar company without having a billion-dollar budget. And the sponsor of today's video, Nextiva, is all you need. Nextiva's cloud phone system lets you talk, text, and video chat with teammates and customers from anywhere, anytime, and on any device. Your team will be able to make and receive calls reliably with crystal clear call quality. And you can even share call and contact notes across the team. So it will be like your entire team is in one office, even if they're not. Your phone system shouldn't be rocket science. Nextiva is really easy to set up and manage, giving you more time to focus on your business. And Nextiva is built with scalability in mind. Their flexible plans are designed to grow with your business. It's easy to add new users, and their pricing is transparent. They also have amazing customer service. Nextiva's support team is fast and effective. You won't be waiting days for responses or getting the runaround. Your issues get resolved quickly, keeping your business running smoothly. This year is the year to stop worrying about losing sales due to a poor phone system. Go to trynextiva.com/NissCee.Social or use the link in the description box down below to save 20% off of your plan. A special thanks to Nextiva for sponsoring this video. So following Matt Walsh's rendezvous with the police, he decided he needed a disguise if he was going to infiltrate the woke community. He needed to look like a male feminist. So he starts dressing like Jared Leto. Bruh. The fact that all he did was put on a cheap wig and a different pair of glasses and no one recognized him, the Clark Kent effect is real.
I'll just do what Superman does. Oh, hey, Carter.
Hello, citizen. Have you seen Peter?
Aw, he was just here.
Another scene in the movie, which I thought was a masterpiece, centers around race hoaxers. So these are people who either stage hate crimes for attention or those who take a very minor incident and they blow it out of proportion for financial gain. For instance, there's Jody Brown, a black woman who sued Sesame Place for $25 million because Rosita didn't stop to give her niece and daughter a hug.
A mother posted this video showing her two African-American daughters waving at the Sesame Street character Rosita. The mother alleges the character ignored her daughters but went on to hug a white child waiting in the area. On Sunday, Sesame Place initially downplayed the incident, saying in part that the performer portraying the Rosita character had confirmed that the no hand gesture seen several times in the video wasn't directed to any specific person, but rather it had been a response to multiple requests from someone in the crowd who asked Rosita to hold their child for a photo, which is not permitted.
Jody actually appears in the movie. She sits down with Matt for an interview and she accepts $50,000 from the documentary team to help her healing process. During the meeting, she spoke about how painful and traumatizing the ordeal was. And when Matt Walsh asked her, did she know the ethnicity of the person in the suit? She responded by saying, no, she doesn't know their identity at all. So it could have actually been a black person in the costume. We don't know, but she sued for racism. This reminded me of a conversation I had the other day. So I was talking with some family about the school system, and I recalled a story when I was in grade 7. My best friend was Asian, and despite the stereotype, she wasn't good at math. So, to help her out one day, I did her homework for her. So I did my homework, I did her homework. Our homework was identical. It was the same thing, but I did both of our homeworks. And she got a higher grade than me. I was pissed. And I still think about it to this day. I was getting really upset about the injustice that I faced in the Toronto school system. And then I remembered our teacher was a black woman. It was a black woman who did that to me. It was Miss Baker with her big body. She did that. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is that it's not only white people who are capable of being racially biased. Everyone is capable of it. The movie then goes on to talk about the race hoax that Jussie Smollett pulled back in 2019. We all remember on a cold winter's night in Chicago, Jussie Smollett was a victim of a malicious crime. 2 white men in mega hats attacked him. They put a noose around his neck. They threw bleach on him. They called him the N-word with the hard R. People on social media, they rushed to his defense because they believed him. Well, most people, I didn't. It never made sense to me. I was like, this was my rationale. Look, if I don't know who Jussie Smollett is, I highly doubt 2 white Trump supporters know who he is either. So I never believed him. And of course, it turned out he was lying. Well, in the movie, they have this really funny reenactment where Matt Walsh is Jussie Smollett in this scenario. And they use Jussie Smollett's interview with Robin Roberts to narrate the scene while acting out the words. So Matt Walsh, he's dressed in his liberal costume. He's in a hotel room in Chicago. It's 2 a.m. It's snowing. It's cold. And he's hungry. And he's wondering if he should go to Subway to get something to eat. And so he imagines himself walking down the streets of Chicago. In his imagination, he gets attacked by 2 Trump supporters who recognize him from the Daily Wire. They're wearing face masks, they're wearing MAGA hats. They attack him. He tries to defend himself with the sandwich. And in the end, he loses. And he's on the ground, sprawled out. And then we flash back to the hotel room and he decides, you know what? I'm just going to stay here. If you don't laugh the way I'm describing it, I promise you will laugh when you see it. It was my favorite part of the movie. I thought it was so funny. One of the other funny things to come out of this whole situation has been the reactions of the people who were involved. The people who were tricked into participating, the stars of the movie, if you will. They've all deactivated their Twitter accounts. Kate R. Slater, Sarah Samira Rao, and Robin DiAngelo have all deactivated their Twitter accounts Which is funny. They should be proud. They should be happy that the whole world is getting to see their ideology. They should be happy and willing to defend it, but they're not. Instead, they deactivated their Twitter accounts. In particular, I want to focus on Robin DiAngelo, because Robin DiAngelo is the author of the book White Fragility, and she has made a fortune off of race baiting, and she agreed to appear in the documentary for $15,000. They told her they were making a documentary called Shades of Justice, and it would be about the effort to address racism in the United States. And so she agreed to participate based on that premise. So she sits down with Matt Walsh, who of course is in disguise, and they begin to talk about white fragility and the concept of over smiling. Apparently, if you're a white person in a public space and you don't smile at a black person, that means you are racist. But if you smile too hard, you over smile, that too is racism. So they're trying to ascertain how much of a smile is appropriate in order to not be a bigot. Mind you, this is a serious conversation. No one is laughing. No one is giggling. Matt is being serious. So Robin is being serious. And during the conversation, Matt calls over one of his producers, Ben, and Ben is black. So he brings Ben over. Ben sits down and Matt turns to him and he apologizes to Ben for the sins of his ancestors and he offers Ben reparations. So he reaches into his wallet and he takes out $20 and he gives it to Ben. And then he encourages Robin to do the same. He encourages Robin to apologize to Ben for the sins of her ancestors and to reach into her wallet and give him some money. Robin is sitting there like, she's like, this is weird. This is very weird. Like, I feel uncomfortable. And Matt goes, okay, but do you think that he should be responsible for you being uncomfortable? Like this black man should have to make you comfortable, you a white woman. And so he basically uses her ideology to back her into a corner. And so she's in this space where if she doesn't give him the money, she's gonna look bad. So she reluctantly gets up and she goes to her purse and she retrieves $30 and she pays it to Ben. Ben is $50 richer and they end the interview. Very epic trolling. I really enjoyed this movie. So far, it has a lot of positive reviews on Google and Rotten Tomatoes. If you haven't watched it, I recommend that you go see it. They do such a great job with this movie. They set out to expose these grifters for the charlatans that they are, and they succeeded while also poking fun at the absurdities of these seminars, these lectures, these books that they profit off of. The movie really demonstrates the fallacies in their logic. For example, very early on in the movie, Matt Walsh is having a conversation with Kate R. Slater. She deactivated her Twitter account, that lady. And this DEI expert is talking about, preferences for Disney princesses. In summary, Kate R. Slater is saying that if a white child prefers to, watch white Disney princesses, then that's racist. But if the child prefers to watch, princesses of color, like say Moana, and wants to dress up as Moana for Halloween, that's also racist. It's like, how could anyone function with a worldview like this? It's complete nonsense. And when he speaks to these DEI experts about solving racism, all of their rhetoric is about punishing white people. But when he speaks to regular people on the street of all races, they talk about love, kindness, acceptance, and togetherness. It is no coincidence that the people who are claiming to want to solve racism continue to perpetuate it with their toxic ideologies. Because if they solved racism, then they would be out of a job. So instead, they seek to find it where it doesn't exist. The movie ends with a great quote from Thomas Sowell. Quote, "Racism is not dead, but it is on life support, kept alive by politicians, race hustlers, and people who get a sense of superiority by denouncing others as racists." Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not yet subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you have watched the movie, I would love to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more like it, I will have 2 more videos for you in the end cards. And I would like to give a special thanks to NissCee.Social for sponsoring this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.